Hello students, how are you? Hope you all are healthy and safe at your home. I am Shweta Jain representing Shiv Jyoti Educational Group Kota. Children, today I am here to teach you Science chapter number 11, Air, Water and Weather part 1. So all of you open your books, chapter number 11, page number 94 and get ready with your pencils as we are going to mark internal questions also. Okay, so children, let's come to your book. In this chapter, we will study about the sun and weather, air and water. So children, sometimes we feel cold and sometimes we feel hot. Sometimes when we go outside, we see sun shining brightly in the sky and sometimes we see clouds are there. Sometimes it starts raining. So what are these changes? So children, we all are surrounded by air and these changes are referred to as weather. So children, the weather is the condition of air at a particular place and time. It changes from day to day. Now let's do this activity which is given in your book. Pick the things that you need on a hot and sunny day of summer season. Now you can see here the first picture is of fan. So children, we need fan in summer seasons. So we put a tick mark over here. Now here you can see this is a fire. Firewoods are burnt over here. So this type of arrangement we don't need in summer seasons because it gives us warmth. We need this in winter seasons. Then the third picture is ice cream. So children, we love to eat ice cream in summer season. You all love to eat ice cream in summer season. So we put a tick mark over here. Now here in the fourth picture, these are the gum boots. We need gum boots in the rainy season. So we put a cross over here. Then in the last picture you can see it is a glass of juice. So children, this glass of juice is required in summer season to give us freshness and coolness. So we put a tick mark over here. Now, have you ever noticed sudden changes in weather? Has it ever happened that when you were going to school, it was a sunny day and when you return home, it became cloudy? So let us read how changes in the weather are caused. So children, just now I have told you that weather is basically the condition of air at a particular place and at a particular time. So changes in weather are caused by sun and air. So let us see how it happens. Now, the sun causes changes in the weather. The earth moves on its own axis. This movement is called rotation. During rotation, the part of earth that faces the sun has day and the other part has night. This rotation of the earth causes day and night. Mornings and evenings are cooler than the noon time because sun rays are slanting in morning and evening. In the noon time, the sun is overhead and sun rays falls directly on the earth. So children, there are two types of movements of earth. These two types we have already discussed in chapter number 12 also, rotation and revolution. So rotation of the earth causes day and night and revolution of the earth causes changes in the season. So let us see how it happens. So children, I have already taught you that there is an imaginary line which passes from the North Pole to the South Pole. This line is called as axis. So earth rotates on its own axis. This axis is tilted slightly to the 23.5 degrees. Now earth rotates on its own axis. So this movement is called as rotation. So children, the part of earth where sunlight falls is day and the part of earth which do not receive sunlight directly, their night is caused. So you can see here, now in this part of the earth right now day is here and in the opposite part it is night. So children, we have seen that rotation of earth causes day and night. Now similarly, earth also show another type of movement, that is revolution. So earth revolve around the sun in its own orbit like this. In the center, sun is there and earth keep on revolving around the sun in its own orbit, and due to this revolution, what happens, half part of it receives the sunlight directly and half part of it do not receives the sunlight directly. So during that period when half part of it receives sunlight directly, there is summer season, and in the another part, in the opposite part, that is, if it is summer season in the northern hemisphere, then it is winter season in the southern hemisphere. So children, mornings and evenings are cooler than noon time. Now why this is so? It is because during the noon time the sun rays are directly overhead, so it is more hotter as compared to mornings and evenings. In the mornings and evenings the sun rays are slanting, they are coming slanting on the earth's surface. Now earth also moves around the sun in its own orbit, this I have shown you right now, and this movement is called as revolution. So you can see in this picture also that when earth revolves around the sun in its own orbit, children, we have already studied one another term which is called as equator. Equator is the imaginary line which divides the earth into two equal halves. One is the northern hemisphere, the upper part, and the another one is the southern hemisphere. So you can see here, when sunlight falls directly on the northern hemisphere, there is summer season, and in the southern hemisphere there occurs winter season, and these seasons keep on changing as the earth changes its position. So this causes different types of seasons. So this part of so children, the earth is tilted on its axis. During revolution, the part of earth facing the sun has longer and hotter days, so this part has summer. The part of earth away from the sun has winter. Thus revolution of the earth causes changes in seasons, like there is summer season. After summer season, which season comes? Monsoon. After monsoon, there is autumn season, then winter, and then spring. So in this way the seasons keeps on changing. Now the sun heats up the air, hot air is lighter and thus rises up. The cool air rushes to take its place, this causes winds to blow. Thus the sun causes winds to blow. The sun heats up the air, hot air is lighter and thus rises up. The cool air rushes to take its place, this causes winds to blow. Thus the sun causes winds to blow. So children, how winds blow? It is due to the sun. Whenever sun heats up the air becomes lighter and it rises up. Now when it rises up, the cool air tries to take its place. So in this way there occurs a flow or movement of air, and this flow or moving air, flowing air or moving air is called as wind. Now the sun heats up the water and changes it into water vapor. The amount of water vapor present in the air is called humidity. So children, as sun heats up the air, it causes winds. Now sun also heats up the water. Now when it heats up the water get converted into water vapor. We have already studied that by the process of evaporation, when water get heated up, it get converted into gaseous form, that is water vapor. So the water vapor which is present in air is called as humidity. The water vapor rises up and condenses to form tiny droplets of water. So tiny droplets join together to form clouds. When the clouds become too heavy, then the droplets of water fall as rain. Thus sun changes states of water and causes humidity and rain. So children, here we have seen that how sun causes different changes in the weather. Sun causes winds to blow, sun causes humidity in the atmosphere, it causes rain. So all these things happens due to the sun and the air. Now let us write one internal question over here. So children, question number 1 here is, what is humidity? It is, what is humidity? I repeat the question, what is humidity? So children, mark this question on page number 95. So write the question over this paragraph. Question number 1, what is humidity? So question number 1 over here is, what is humidity? So answer to this question is, the amount of water vapor present in the air is called humidity. So children, you can mark it from here. Start from the and till air. Then you have to put a full stop. The amount of water vapor present in the air. So now we come to air. Air is present all around us. It is a mixture of gases. It contains water vapor, dust, smoke and germs. The blanket of air surrounding the earth is called as atmosphere. So children, we are surrounded by air and the blanket of air surrounding the surface of earth is called as atmosphere, and air is a mixture of gases. It contains different gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen. Besides this, it also contains water vapor, dust, smoke and germs. And just now I have told you that water vapor present in the air is called as humidity. Now children, moving air is called wind. The sun causes wind to blow. A gentle and pleasant wind is called breeze. A strong wind is called gale. Fast and strong winds can cause a storm. The wind affects the weather of a place. So children, here moving air is called as wind, and just now we have studied that sun causes wind to blow. And how it causes? I have told you that when sun heats up the air, it rises up and the cool air starts taking its place. So in this way a flow starts in the air, so it produces wind. And when the wind blows gently, when it is gentle and pleasant, it is called as breeze, and when it is strong, it is called as gale. So these type of winds which are called as gale, they are very fast and strong, and they can cause a storm and cause harm also. The wind affects the weather of a place. Now children, there is one more internal question, so let us write it down. So question number 2 here is, what is the difference between breeze and gale? So children, I repeat the question. It is, what is the difference between breeze and gale? Now let us mark the answer to this question. So children, mark the answer on page number 95, last paragraph. You can write the question over this last paragraph and you can mark the answer from here. A gentle and pleasant wind is called breeze. A strong wind is called gale. So start with a gentle and you have to underline it till gale. Okay, I repeat the answer. A gentle and pleasant wind is called breeze. A strong wind is called gale. And you have to mark it as answer number 2. So children, now we come to the next topic, that is land breeze and sea breeze. The difference in the heating up and cooling down of land and water give rise to land breeze and sea breeze. The land breeze and sea breeze especially occur in coastal areas. So let us see how land breeze and sea breeze are formed. Now children, what happens over here? There is a difference in cooling and heating between land and sea. Land gets heated up faster as well as it cools down faster. Okay, so when during the daytime the land and sea, it means land and water both gets heated up, but the land gets heated up faster. Now when land gets heated up, then what happens over here? The hot wind starts rising up. So these are the hot winds. They start rising up because they become lighter, so they rise up. Now when they rise up, then what happens? The air or the wind above the sea, above the water, it is cooler as compared to the air above the land. So what happens over here? this air tends to move towards the land. So here cool air moves towards the land. So you can see children, now what happens, the wind from sea starts blowing towards the land. So this type of breeze is called as sea breeze and it occurs during the daytime. What happens over here, the wind starts blowing or the cool air starts blowing from sea towards the land and this is called as sea breeze, that is sea to land, and it occurs during the daytime. Now let us see what is land breeze. So children, now let us see what happens during land breeze. Now during the night time when sun is not here, what happens, as I have told you, lands get cooler faster as compared to the water. So wind above the sea surface is hotter as compared to that above the land surface. So what happens over here, now because this is hotter, so it starts rising up. Hot air, it rises up. Now due to this, here the wind present over the surface of land, it starts moving towards the sea because this is the cool air or cool wind, and as the air present above the sea level, it starts moving up. So to take up the space over here, the air from above the land, it starts moving from land towards the sea. So this type of wind is called as land breeze. So land breeze is from the wind which blows from land to sea during the night time. Okay children? Now let us see how to draw land breeze and sea breeze. Now see children, this is sea. And here this part is land. Now this is sea and this is land. Now this is the daytime because sun is shining over here. So let us write it over here, day. So during the daytime, what happens? The land and sea both gets heated up, but lands get heated up faster. So as the land gets heated up, the hot air present above the land, it rises up. So we write over here, hot air rises up. Now to take up the space, the air from above the sea starts moving from sea to land. This is the air which is moving from sea to land, and this is cool air. So this air is called as sea breeze. So children, in this way you have to draw the diagram in your notebooks also. Now let us see what is land breeze. Now see children, again this is sea and this part is called land. Now during the night time, as I have told you, that lands get cooled up faster as compared to the water. So here the air present above the water, that is the air present above the sea, it starts rising up because it is hot air. So to take up the space, the air present above the land, it starts moving towards the sea. So this is from land to sea, and this is the cool air. So now children, in this way you can see the air starts moving from land to sea. So this is called as land breeze, and it occurs during the night time. So land breeze flows during night time from land to sea. So children, now let us come to the next topic, that is water. So we use water for lots of activities like drinking, cooking, bathing, cleaning, washing and swimming. About 70% of the earth's surface is covered with water. We get water from rain, rivers, lakes and ponds. So children, our earth is called as blue planet. Why? Because it is covered, the maximum part of it is covered with water. So we can see here that 70% of it is covered with water, and we get water from rain, rivers, lakes and ponds. So some of the rainwater seeps in the ground. Seeps in the ground here means it gets into the ground through the soil, and this passes through the soil and is known as underground water. So the level of underground water in an area is called the water table. We can draw out underground water through wells, tube wells and hand pumps. Water exists in all three states: solid, liquid and gaseous. These states are interchangeable. So children, the water which enters under the ground through the soil is called as underground water, and the level of underground water in an area is called as water table. And you can draw this underground water through the wells, tube wells and hand pumps. And one more thing which you have already studied, that water exists in three different forms, that is solid. In solid form it occurs as ice, in liquid form it occurs as drinking water, and gaseous form it occurs as water vapor or steam, and all these states are interchangeable. So let us write one more internal question over here. So children, question number 3 over here is, what is water table? I repeat the question. Question number 3 is, what is water table? So now let us mark the answer to this. So children, mark the answer on page number 97 under the paragraph heading water. You have to mark it in the 5th line. The level of underground water in an area is called water table, and you can write the question just above this paragraph over here. So you have to underline it from the level till water table and mark it as answer number 3. I repeat the answer. The level of underground water in an area is called water table. Now, right now I have told you that all the states of water are interchangeable. So children, there are certain processes which helps in changing in states of the water. So first process over here is evaporation. When water gets heated up, it changes into water vapor. This process is called evaporation. Water evaporates faster when the temperature of the surroundings is high, clothes dry quickly on hot days, the air is dry or less humid, clothes dry faster on a dry day than on a humid day. Now, when there is wind, clothes dry fast on a windy day, and the exposed surface of water is large. So children, when the liquid water get converted into gaseous form, that is water vapor, the process is called as evaporation, and it takes place on heating. Now, the evaporation becomes faster in certain conditions. So let us see what are these conditions. So first condition here is the temperature of the surroundings is high. So let us take one example of drying the clothes. So when you dry the clothes in hot sunny day, they dry faster. Okay, then when the air is dry or less humid, Less humid means when there is less water vapor in the air. So when the air is dry, it dries up the clothes faster. Again, when there is wind, because wind is a moving air, so it takes up the water vapor along with it. So in presence of wind, water evaporates faster, so clothes dry fast, and the exposed surface of water is large. So children, when you dry the clothes and spread them properly for drying, then they get dried faster as compared to the condition when you put them as it is on the rope. Okay, so if the exposed surface area is more, then the evaporation will be more. Another is condensation. When we boil water in a container covered with a lid, we see tiny droplets of water on the inner side of the lid. The tiny droplets of water are formed due to change of water vapor into water. The process by which water vapor changes into water on cooling is called condensation. So children, another process here is condensation. So how condensation takes place? When the liquid form of when the gaseous form of water get converted into liquid form of water on cooling. So a very good example of it is, if you put some ice or chilled water in a glass, then you will see after sometimes drops of water get collected over the surface of the glass. Or during the winter mornings, you can see on the window panes there are lots of drops of water. So from where these water droplets come? These are due to the condensation, because due to the cool environment these drops get collected on the window panes. So you can see children here, these are the examples of evaporation. This is the evaporation. When we heat up the water, it rises up in form of steam. And in nature, how evaporation occurs? When the water on the surface of the water body gets heated up by sun, the water starts rising up in form of water vapor. Now this is the example of condensation. Here you can see when we heat up the water, what happens? Evaporation occurs and this water comes out in form of steam. Now if we put a plate over this steam, because the plate is cold as compared to the water which is present in this kettle, so due to this, as the water vapor reaches the plate, it gets cool and get collected as drops of water on the inner surface of the plate. So this is also called as condensation. And another example here which I have told you right now, that drops of water get collected on the outer surface of the glass when it is filled with the chilled water or ice. Now children, water vapor rises in the air and condenses to form droplets of water, which in turn form clouds. Water vapor condenses to form dew, fog, frost, hail, snow and rain. So children, when water vapor rises up in the air, then it gets condensed and it occurs in different forms. So let us see the different forms of condensed water. So one of the form of condensed water here is dew. On cold mornings, water vapor condenses on the surface of leaves and grass in form of drops called dew drops. Now see children, in the cold winter mornings, you might have seen water droplets everywhere when you go outside. So these droplets, when they get collected on the surface of leaves, these are called as dew drops. Another form here is fog. In winter season, when it is very cold, water vapor condenses on the dust particles to form thick clouds of tiny droplets just above the land or water. This is called fog. Now see children, nowadays when you go outside, this time the weather is foggy. So you might have seen that nothing is visible in the morning. When you go outside early in the morning, nothing is visible. So why this is so? This type of condition is called fog, and it is so because the water vapor get condensed in the air and remains suspended over there only, so it causes fog. The third form here is frost. When it is very cold, dew drops freeze to form crystals of ice. This is called frost. What happens in the very cold areas? These dew drops, they get converted into ice crystals, and this is called as frost. When raindrops pass through a very cold region of the atmosphere, they freeze to form pellets of ice. These pellets of ice are called hail. They fall to the ground. Here you can see these crystals or pellets of ice are called as hail or hailstones. You might have seen in our our city also, sometimes when there is very cold weather, hailstones are dropped. So these are the frozen form of water. Now, in extremely cold weather, water vapor condenses to form snow instead of water droplets. You can see over here in this picture, everywhere you can see snow is there. So in the hilly areas, when this condensed water it get converted into ice or snow, it falls down as snow. Now, next part is rain. When water vapor condenses and falls to the ground in form of drops of water, it is called as rain. So these are some of the forms of condensed water. So children, this is all about the explanation of part 1 of this chapter. Part 2, that is remaining chapter, we will discuss in our next video lecture. So you mark the internal questions properly. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you.